So, welcome guys to this video. This is a little bit different than what I normally post. This is going to be a bit of a POV drive in my GT3, so you guys that have low attention spans have something to watch as I spit immense amounts of game on you. So in this video, I wanted to, discuss trading psychology and basically like just some gems that got me to where I am today and that have helped my students a lot. So the first thing I want to start off with is why you are still unprofitable. I feel like at this point in most people's careers, you are probably at a point where you know a decent amount about the technical analysis portion of trading, which is like the easiest part, but you're still stuck, you're still unprofitable, like something's not right? Like there's a bridge that is broken between you and profitability. And these are gonna be some things that, have helped me out a lot, that can also, maybe help you out a lot. I think there are a lot of people that probably just don't take trading as serious as you should. I think that's the number one issue, right? Is that you're genuinely just not taking this thing seriously at all. And it's easy to do that because at the end of the day, it's numbers on a screen and it almost at times doesn't even feel real, right? So this is just one of those jobs where, like, internet money, it doesn't really feel real because you can make and lose so much in such a short period of time. It's not directly coming out of your bank account, I guess, right? Because you have a brokerage account. So this can be a huge problem. This is something that I struggled with early on in my career. And what you need to tell yourself is that in order to make trading work in any capacity, you have to treat it like a business. You have to treat it like almost like a job, right? Now, obviously, it's not like a regular job because you don't have a manager that's, like micromanaging you and watching over everything that you're doing. You are the manager, right? And it is up to you to make sure that you are doing the right thing, that you have the proper discipline, you are following your rules, you're not oversizing, all these things. It is up to you to make sure that you are doing these things properly. Otherwise, you are setting yourself up for failure. And again, it's like super easy to get into this trap. So there are a few things that I did early on in my career. And the first thing that I did was I started implementing a very strict set of rules, right? I would follow these rules to the T. My rules are 2 trades per day maximum. I do not use more than 10% of my account to size per trade. And if it's not an A+ setup, I simply just don't take the trade. And we will come back to that later because that is an important topic in and of itself that I want to discuss. But that is the very first thing that I started doing. The second thing that I did was, I feel like a lot of people just treat this like it is a game, okay? And the reason is because you're working from home. You can work from, well, really, you can work from anywhere, okay? You can work from your computer, you can work from your phone, you can work from bed, okay? And that's a problem because a lot of people will, just kind of roll out of bed, or they won't roll out of bed at all, right? And they'll start their trading day, which is just bullshit, because when in any other job that you are required to be successful, would you ever do something like that? The answer is you wouldn't, right? You would literally never do something like that. So again, this goes back to treating it like a job. If you would never do that in a regular job, what makes you think it's smart to do that when you're day trading? Hold on, let's get some 4-liter Symphony. not smart. You're not coherent when you're coming right out of bed. It's literally the stupidest thing that you can do for yourself. Instead, wake up a little bit earlier, right? Like, this is the bare minimum. I'm giving you guys the absolute bare minimum right now. There are just way too many people that are so comfortable. They roll out of bed a minute before market open, they get on the charts, and then they think they see an A+ setup, and then they take it, and then they lose, and then they wonder why the hell they lost. Well, it's because you are literally an idiot. In no world should you ever be waking up directly before the market opens, okay? You need to give yourself time to be able to look at the chart and analyze the chart and figure out what you're gonna do and all these things, right, that you are normally not going to be able to do if you're waking up a minute before the market opens, right? Like, that's quite literally impossible. It's not going to happen. So wake up at least an hour to 30 minutes before the market opens, sit on the charts, get used to looking at the charts for that morning, right? Find your bias, find your draw on liquidity, find whatever you need to find, and then go start placing your trades, right? This is not something that you should be doing as you wake up. Now, going back to my, oh, god damn. Okay, now going back to my earlier point of, you know, not taking some trades, right? There's going to be days where you're not going to take trades. There's going to be weeks where you take maybe 1 trade a week. There's going to be weeks where you take 2 trades a week. And you need to be okay with that, right? Because let's look at the facts. The top 1% of traders are taking less than 14 trades a month. In 1 month, okay? That's 2 weeks worth of trades that they're taking. So that's 2 whole weeks that they are not taking any trades. What makes you think that you sitting there taking 2, 3, 4 trades a day, you're going to make it work, right? Like, why are you better than them? Okay? Well, the answer is that you're not, right? You simply are not. So you can't get to the point of greatness if you're not following in the footsteps of the great, okay? I'm telling you, the best thing that you can do for yourself is limit the amount of trades that you're taking. There's literally a direct correlation in taking less trades and making more money. And there's a very simple science behind it, because the less trades you take, right? If you were focusing on one specific setup, right? This is your A+ setup, let's say, and this is the only setup that you're primarily focusing on. When you see this setup pop up thousands of times in front of you, and you see it play out thousands of times in front of you, at some point, you are going to just really like have a deep understanding of this specific setup because you've seen it play out so many times, right? So if it plays out 1,000 times, right? Or let's say it plays out 999 times and you see it play out, then the thousandth time is not going to be any different, right? Like, you are going to be able to execute on that setup quite easily because you've seen it happen 999 times before, right? So this specific setup that pops up, your A+ setup, is the only setup that realistically you should be trading, right? None of the other setups really matter. And I think a lot of people are just mentally, they're not okay with taking, you know, X amount of trades per month. They just want to take 1 trade a day, 2 trades, or multiple trades a day. That they literally thrive off of taking several trades a day. And that is the underlying issue. I'll give you an example. One of my good friends, I gave my system, my strategy, on a silver platter. I gave him the entire thing. I taught it to him in person, right? Like, it literally doesn't get any better than that. And there was a point in the market, because market goes through different phases, market goes through different cycles. There was a point in the market where that specific setup just didn't show up that often. And that was my strategy, my system, trying to protect me from engaging in shitty price action, right? So the market was going through some bullshit. My setup was not really presenting, and it was maybe presenting 2-3 days a week, right? And I am totally fine with that personally. He, unfortunately, being a newer trader, wanted to trade as much as possible, and he ended up completely switching his system, okay? Now, what happens here is, like I said, the market goes through different cycles. And if you become one of these people that is hopping from one system to another when the market kind of changes, you are always going to continue doing that, because when the next time the market goes through some sort of a change, guess what you're going to do? You're going to change your system to something that is, you know, suitable for that specific market, right? And you're just going to be nothing but a strategy hopper for the remainder of your trading career, right? Is that what you want for yourself? No, right? You guys, there's so many people that just don't even allow their systems to fail properly, bro. You will just, as soon as the system fails a little bit, boom, on to the next, right? Like, you got to give the system a little bit of room, allow it to fail properly, allow yourself to fail properly, so that you can learn from your mistakes, because that is literally the only way that you are going to improve. So in this game, especially in this market, you need to be okay with your trade frequency being really low, okay? Because that is what is going to save you ultimately. There are certain markets where you should be sizing up, and there are certain markets where survival is the only goal. And this market is where survival is the only goal. And if you're unable to survive, you and your portfolio are literally not going to make it to where you are able to finally size up and make up some money, right? Some real money. Like, the real edge in trading that a lot of people don't talk about is just the ability to be as patient as humanly possible. Like, this is a game of patience, and this will, I guarantee you, it'll test your patience to the max. I naturally, outside of trading, right, outside of being a trader, I'm just naturally not a patient person, right? Or at least I wasn't before. And when I tell you guys trading is going to completely transform your personality as a human being, it will do exactly that. You will no longer be the same person. I can like sit through situations and be more patient than I ever was before in my entire life, bro. Like, when I tell you I was the guy that was ordering things overnight, you know, I would pay $200 extra just to get something overnight because I'm just that impatient, right? Or I would just rather go pick the thing up in person because I'm just that impatient. And trading will test that patience, right? It will test your emotions to the max, and you have to be prepared for that, because if you are an impatient person by any stretch of the imagination, I promise you, this is going to be like a really rough road for you. So you need to expect to be patient. Now, another thing that a lot of people unfortunately can't really do very well, especially if you're first coming into trading, is you need to be a really good loser. Like, I mean a really good loser, because if you are not a good loser, unfortunately, this is just not going to work for you. The longest part of your trading journey is going to be taking a lot of these losses to essentially figure out your personality as a trader, right? Because your personality is not the same as somebody else's, right? Your personality is not the same as mine, which ultimately means that the system that I trade might not be the one that works for you, right? The system that I trade or somebody else trades might not be as effective for you. And you need to understand that as you come into the market. Now, it doesn't go like this for everybody, but the issue is that when you're first starting trading, you're not going to know which strategy works well with your personality, right? You have no idea. So the longest part of your journey is trying out, you know, all these different strategies to see, hey, like, what works best for me, right? Like, what am I most comfortable trading? This is the longest part of your trading journey, no doubt. And for me, that was like a super mechanical system, right? All right, we got a little change of scenery. Taking the M3 out, so figured what better time than now to record the tail end of this video. Anyways, as I was saying, I created a very mechanical system, which is essentially what I was looking for, which worked with my personality as a person. And, you know, now I am able to accurately use that checklist that I have and take good trades. And that's just the kind of person I am. Some people that are watching this might be more discretionary traders, where you know, it might take you a different kind of model to make things work, you know, because I have some students that kind of started off learning with my model and then kind of adapted it into something entirely different that now works better for them. So this is like pretty much the cycle that every new trader is going to go through. That thing is pretty cool, actually. Very nice. So something that works for one person is not the same thing that is going to work for everybody. Now the last thing, and I will leave you guys off with this final piece of advice, is stay off of social media, okay? It is not something that is going to help you in any way in your trading journey. In fact, it'll probably do more harm than good. My theory is, once you have found a system or a specific mentor that works for you and works well with your personality and has everything that you're looking to get out of a Discord, then you no longer should be on social media. I think that's going to extremely stunt your growth as a trader and as a person, because the facts are that there is a lot of information out there on social media now, right? Like now more than ever, you can go on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and there is somebody else, somebody new that has this new magic system that they're trying to sell to you, and that is never going to change. It's going to stay that way for a very long time. So what happens to a lot of people, especially newer traders, is they get on social media, they find something that works for them, they find a system that works for them, and what'll happen is the day that you have a losing trade, right, or maybe you have a losing week, or maybe you have a losing month, right, all of these things, which are normal, by the way, for any normal system in the market, as soon as you taste a little bit of that loss, you go on Twitter, TikTok, and you do one scroll and you see, oh, he made, you know, $20,000 today while I lost money. You're gonna be inclined to kind of check his system out and be like, yo, you know, why did mine not work and his did? And then you start working on his, and then next thing you know, you're now in this endless loop, endless cycle of you know, trying out different strategies, because this never changes. You're not going to find a system that is just going to deliver green days and green weeks and green months, you know, year over year over year. It's just not realistic. It doesn't happen. The market goes through phases. Sometimes some systems work, other times different systems work. But this is like normal market price action, right? Like this is kind of just how things go. So once you find that person that works well with your personality, just get off of social media and just focus on being a student. That is your primary goal, right? Is to become profitable, and just make that work, and that's it. You guys are in a day and age where it is now extremely easy to get into trading and extremely easy to learn more about trading, right? This is not the way it used to be when I first started. When I first started, you had to put real capital into your account to trade. Now you have $50 prop firm accounts, okay? Back then, you had to kind of like really search for the proper information. Now, it's everywhere. It is literally everywhere. It's fully accessible to you. Videos like this, like the one that I'm making for you guys right now, these didn't exist back then, okay? Like, I just not enough people know about trade or knew about trading, or they just didn't care to teach people the proper way, right? So this is like a new day and age where all these things are accessible to you. You have to use them the right way, okay? Because there's a wrong way and a right way to use them. And it's very easy to use them the wrong way. So don't get stuck in that little, you know, loop of using them the wrong way. Make sure you are using this information that is at your fingertips correctly. Now, with that being said, if you are new and you are trying to get into trading, pretty much the best and most effective way now to get into trading is prop firms, okay? Prop firms, if you guys don't know, is where you just pay a very small fee. Usually it's about $50. You get a $50,000 account as an evaluation. You pass it. If you get funded, then you can now start withdrawing money from that account. My prop firm of choice that I use is Apex Trader Funding. Now, Apex is currently 80% off if you use code KEY, K-E-Y. Just plug that into the coupon code thing and you will be able to get 80% off of your accounts, which is insane. Pretty much the best deal in the entire prop firm industry right now. And if you don't use code KEY, very, very good chance that you do not pass your account, okay? You do not pass your evaluation. So make sure that you use code KEY and you're going to be able to pass your eval, get paid out, get funded, you know, all the good things in the world come from using code KEY. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I will be doing more of these. So let me know if you guys like this. Let me know some other topics you might want me to discuss in the comments below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, everybody.